Hello, my name is Dennis Layden. I'm the Director of Graduate Studies in the Department of Economics in the Bryan School of Business and Economics here at UNCG. And I'm here to give you some information about our MA in Applied Economics program today. Before we begin, just a couple of notes. One, this session is for you, it's not for me. So if you have questions, feel free to type your questions at any time. We have a team that's ready and they can answer you in the chat window. Hopefully you won't have any technology trouble, but if all you hear is the host speaking or the audio or video is disabled, let us know. You can do that by contacting us at the email address bryangrad, that's BRYANGRAD @uncg.edu. Okay, so if everybody's set, let's go ahead and start. Today, what I'd like to talk about, the structure of this information session is four things. One, why a Bryan School MA in Applied Economics. Then I want to talk about program specifics. By that time, no doubt you'll be excited to apply, so let me talk about the admissions process. And then finally, if anybody has any questions, we can address those. So why a Bryan School MA in Applied Economics? There are four basic reasons. One, we provide a unique perspective that is not available at many other similar sorts of programs. Two, I can give you some information about career information, but the bottom line is it's interesting work and it's work in a variety of areas. Three, the jobs that our graduates get are in a variety of industries, public and private, and engage in all sorts of job functions. And fourthly, for a program of this nature, we actually are remarkably low in cost. Unique perspective is focused around data analytics, but it's more than that. There are a lot of data analytics programs out there, some in economics, some in statistics departments, and so on. What our program does is combine the data analytics material with a study of theory and policy, so that you get not only the ability to solve problems that are handed to you, you can identify the problems yourself. You can make sense of them, you can put them in context. And this is important not only for the analysis part, but for communicating the results of the analysis to others in your organization. In terms of career, we have a strong alumni network, an employer network to help identify possible employment prospects. And in fact, it's very common each year for some of our prior students who are now working to come to us and say, oh, we've got a position or two in this area. Who do you have who's graduating this year? Our students earn roughly 30% more than a bachelor's degree in economics, so that it has a real net benefit to those who go through the program. 50% of our students typically have job offers before they graduate, and 90% have accepted jobs within their field within 3 months of graduation. And starting salaries, while they vary, tend to be in the $55,000 to $85,000 range. Where are our alumni? Well, they're all over the place. But this gives you at least a sampling of the types of positions and where our graduates are. There's a health economic analyst at Lockheed Martin, Freddie Mac, which deals with things like mortgages. There's an economic financial modeling specialist. In fact, I think this year we just had someone took a position, so we've got at least 2 people there. Someone's an associate research analyst at the Center for Naval Analyses. We've got a number of people who work in the banking sector, so there's a risk analysis at BB&T. We have an economic advisor at the World Leadership Survey Project, so that not all our people, graduates, work in just private sector firms. We've got a statistics programmer at Centerac HCR. We have a manager for operational analytics and reporting at Goodwill Industries. That's a very interesting one. I never would have thought before I got involved with our graduate programs. But Goodwill Industries, you think of as the group that sells used furniture and clothing, but in fact they run a number of social programs as well. And our graduate essentially is a labor economist who evaluates those programs and reports to management so that they know what's working, what needs to be improved, and so on. We've got a quantitative specialist at the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta, a policy analyst working for the North Carolina State Department of Commerce, and then another data analyst at Luxottica Group SPA. So they're sort of all over the public and the private sector. Some of them are doing more policy-oriented things. Some are doing more analytic type of activities. There we go. In terms of career options, you can think of the career options as both where you would work and the type of work you would do. And so in terms of where you would work, it might be industry, corporations, as some of the examples I just talked about are, but there's also federal government, state government positions as well, nonprofits like that Goodwill position, research institutes, medical centers, financial institutions, and so on. You really are not limited in terms of where you would work. The type of work is also fairly broad, but our graduates are well prepared for it. Model assessment, for example, in banks, someone has to assess models that they use to evaluate the financial health of the institutions. There's forecasting work, risk analysis in not just financial institutions, but corporations and so on. Economic analysis within corporations, public sector organizations, and policy analysis as well. And in addition to all of this, what our graduates tell us is they're well positioned to move up the ladder in career advancement. And in fact, now a number of our graduates who graduated, say, 10 years ago are now moving up into managerial positions. And those are the ones who contact us and say, hey, I need somebody in this area or that area. You know, who do you have? In terms of cost, our program is actually one of the most cost-effective programs in this area in the country. It only takes 3 semesters. We start in the fall, and so you're done, not that fall, but the following fall. And the total tuition cost for all 3 semesters together is approximately $12,000 if you're in-state and $32,000 out of state. And I want to emphasize that's for all 3 semesters combined. And those sums, obviously depends where you came from, but for many of our students coming in, that's less than 1 year of undergraduate tuition. In terms of program specifics, there are 4 things I want to touch on. One is hands-on real-world training. The second is the collaborative environment here at in the Bryan School. The third is curriculum flexibility so that the program fits your needs. And the fourth is there are full and part-time options. In terms of hands-on real-world training, our students analyze large data sets. We just don't learn the theory of it. They actually play around with large data sets, and they use the same software that's most frequently used by Fortune 500 companies and financial institutions, so that's SAS. They also have an opportunity oftentimes to use other sorts of software, such as Stata, for example. And in some cases, you in fact would have the choice of what to do. So if there's a programming language that you're keen on learning and working with, you would have that opportunity as well. In terms of the environment, our classes are small. We typically accept, say, mid-high teens in terms of the number of students. You get to know both your fellow students and faculty very quickly and to interact with them both inside and outside of class. Most of our students form study groups early on in the program, and we certainly encourage that, and that often leads to lifelong friendships. The faculty have always had time to talk one-on-one with you, and they may in fact invite you to participate in their applied research and policy analysis work that they are doing. And the fields that they're involved in are quite diverse within the applied micro area. There's environmental work that's going on here, certainly work on health economics, labor economics, technology and innovation policy, and public economics more broadly defined. In terms of flexibility, curriculum options include being able to take additional microeconomic or macroeconomic theory, as well as supplementing your analysis with data analytics or policy analysis. And this fits all within the standard curriculum and set of requirements. To give you an idea of the structure of the program, here's the full-time option that's available. It's 3 semesters, as I noted. It starts in August before the regular semester begins with what we call a math boot camp. This is a chance for us to make sure that all our incoming students are up to speed on the mathematical tools that they will need to succeed in the program. Then in the regular fall semester, they take a semester of microeconomic theory, a semester of econometric methods with heavy emphasis on application, and a data methods in economics course where students learn to manipulate data, input them, clean data, and so forth. Here's where we make sure that everybody's up to speed on the basics of SAS programming. In January, before the spring semester begins, all our master's students sit for comprehensive exams. This is a chance to pull things together and make sure you've got a good foundation before you move on to the more difficult material, and to get feedback on where you might be a little weak and need to work. And then after that, in the spring semester, students take either a second semester of microeconomic theory, or they take a semester of macroeconomic theory. In addition, they will take an econometric theory course, so they dive deeper into the econometric tools that are useful once they graduate. And then there's a course on applied policy methods. I might also mention, although it's not required, students are certainly welcome to take both the second semester microeconomic theory course and the macroeconomic theory course. One, if they're interested and they think it would be useful to them in their career, or if they're thinking that they want to keep open the possibility of perhaps pursuing a PhD at a later date. Then in the following fall semester, everyone takes an empirical microeconomics capstone course. This is essentially a collection of case studies that walk you through the process and the type of analysis that you would be doing once you graduate. And then there are 2 electives, and these electives can be in a variety of areas. They can be more tools courses such as forecasting and data analytics. They can be more policy oriented. They can be field courses such as, for example, labor economics, or you can mix and match them as you see fit. That's our full-time program, but we also offer part-time. The exact details on the part-time program depend on you and what you're interested in and what sort of time you have available to dedicate to it. But here's one option that would be a 5-semester program, and even longer options are possible. You take the boot camp in August and then take the microeconomic theory in the fall. You would sit for the micro theory comprehensive exam in that January, and then move on to take either a second semester of microeconomics or macroeconomics, along with the applied policy methods course in that spring. The following fall, you would then go back and take the econometric methods course and the data methods course in economics, and then sit in January for the econometrics comprehensive exam. The 4th semester, you would take the econometric theory course and one of your electives. And then in the final fall semester, you would take the empirical microeconomics capstone and another elective. But as I said, this is just one example. We would sit down with you if you wanted to pursue the program part-time and work out what seems to be best for you. Okay, so there's the structure of the program and why we think it's of value. Let me talk about the admissions process a little bit. I want to make sure I talk about the requirements, the degree to which financial support might be available, and then deadlines. In terms of requirements, you have to have a bachelor's degree. Does not have to be in economics. You need to take the GRE or the GMAT exam. You can take either for our MA program. You need 3 letters of recommendation, and you need 3 economics courses. A course in intermediate microeconomics, a course in mathematical economics, and a course in intermediate statistics that includes linear regression. Now, in terms of talking at these courses, we have some flexibility here. The mathematical economics, we recognize that not all universities offer that, and so if that's not a possibility for you, you can substitute, say, a second semester calculus course or some other mathematics. And again, we'd have to talk. And the same with the intermediate statistics, linear regression. It doesn't have to be in an economics department. It could be in a statistics department or some other department as well. In terms of financial support, financial assistance is provided, unfortunately not for all our MA students, but for a select number of highly qualified applicants. Typically, the financial assistance takes the form either of an assistantship or a scholarship. In the case of an assistantship, you would be working with a faculty member either in helping with teaching or with research. Tuition waivers are not common, but they occasionally are included, and particularly with some forms of scholarship, they come along with the scholarship. And this includes both in-state and out-of-state tuition waivers. Other forms of support that sometimes appear after students show up here on campus show up in the form of part-time jobs using data analytic skills learned in the program. These are jobs at other locations outside the department here at UNCG or even outside the university. It seems inevitable that every year we have these part-time job offers that come in. The only difficulty is that we don't control those. These are requests from outsiders, and so we can't guarantee they're there. But when they are, we do our best to match them up with students who have the skills and are interested in the types of jobs that are offered. In terms of financial aid for part-time and full-time students, at this time, we're not able to offer financial aid for part-time students, only full-time students. However, when it comes to the part-time jobs, there's a little bit more flexibility there. And again, we're always on the lookout for ways to provide financial assistance for our students, whether it's when they first arrive or later. In terms of deadlines, we've got lots of them. So let me walk you through the details. The priority deadline is February 15th. The reason we say that it's priority is because after February 15th, we begin evaluating applications, both to consider who we might accept and to consider to whom we might offer financial assistance. So if you want to maximize your chance of being offered financial assistance and being accepted, get your application completed and submitted by February 15th. But we recognize that not everybody can do that, and we will continue to consider applicants for financial assistance up to May 1st for domestic applicants and April 1st for international applicants. The reason for the difference in deadlines is simply that there's more paperwork that has to be done for international applicants, and so we need the time to be able to take care of that. If you're not interested in financial assistance, then in fact you can apply even later. For domestic applicants, it's July 1st, and for international applicants, it's June 1st. But again, if you want to maximize your chance of being accepted and being offered financial assistance, I encourage you, if at all possible, to get everything done by February 15th. Finally, in terms of applications, what if you're interested? What if you otherwise have a wonderful background in terms of your studies, but you don't quite meet the requirements? You don't have a course or two. Talk to us. There are ways to take the required courses either here at UNCG, at another institution, or to do it online. For example, our Math Econ course is offered online in the summer, so you could take it the summer before you would come here. And there are other ways to do that. But if you otherwise have a strong background and are interested, let us know, and we'll work with you to see what we can put together to help you out. Here at UNCG, if you take those background courses, you would do so through something called the Visions program. And there's the email address, the website address for getting more information. It's at https://grs.uncg.edu/visions. And that's it in terms of the formal presentation. As I said, my name is Dennis Layden, and I'm the Director of Graduate Studies. Our graduate recruiter is Mary Lisa Pegg, and there are our email addresses as well. You can contact me at economics@un.edu, and you can contact Mary Lisa at briangrad@uncg.edu. So that's it. Thanks for listening. I hope to hear from you soon.